Good, we're good.
Sick, sick. All right, so we all here. Let's go. What's up? How we doing? How we feeling?
Chilling.
Anything y'all wanna? Anything y'all wanna in y'all hearts y'all wanna get off? Anything y'all chest you wanna get out before we jump into things?
I got enough.
Yeah, not really.
Nice. This is
New for me.
This is, I guess, technically gonna be our second podcast. If anyone watched the first joint, that this is our regular format. The first one was more of a special get together situation, but all the same, we here and yeah, let's just jump right into things. So I got two quick stories slash questions slash updates before we get into the main topics. Yeah, the first question I got for y'all to jump right into things, and there's no link, there's no story. If you heard, you heard. So, as we may or may not know, some states, I think namely Texas, and I think Mississippi, it's basically a lot of places in the South. Not a lot, but places, some states in the South are lifting mask restrictions. And obviously, some people are like, "What in God's green earth are they? Why in God's green earth are they doing that?" But I'm sure some people that are pumped for that. So that got me to thinking. Just go around the room real quick. If and when they release mask restrictions, are y'all gonna continue to wear masks, or is it just okay? That's done. Like, it just got me thinking. Like, do we really think that by wearing masks we're protecting ourselves? And I mean, I guess you are, but is the main reason for you wearing masks because you feel like you're protected, or because it's the rule? That's the question.
Because it's the rule for me. Or I will stop.
You will stop. So you don't have any feelings of you might catch it.
I was fine before. Or will not be fine.
Alright, this going on. I'm asking.
It is mostly the rule, but I kind of might still wear it even if they lift restrictions, just because it wouldn't necessarily hurt. It kind of depends on like what the stats look like and are numbers still going up and all that. But
I just saw like the little map. I just
maybe
saw like the little map of where we are, and it seemed like there's no more like there's not that many high risk cities anymore. It seemed like, for all intents and purposes, the stats they're going down.
it's just kind of funny being at like a supermarket while I'm mask at this point.
Hey man,
It's built, but
exactly. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's become like a part of society. Like, you out, you got on a mask. But obviously we can readjust.
Yeah, I don't know. I wear it
it.
for the because of the rule, but and yeah, I'm not really worried about getting it. Although I'm not ignorant of the fact that I do think I got sick less this year for one reason or another. Whether it's not being around people as much or actually wearing the
I
mask.
think so.
I think it's what? Just not being around people?
Not being around.
Yeah, probably more likely, but I mean, hey, no, I might get a gator. Just keep it around my neck.
That's what I be rocking. And that's
Although they said those are the least effective.
well, I was gonna say, to your point, as a person that's probably been around people the most, I haven't literally all of 2020. All praises. I haven't.
Exactly.
I never.
yeah, not once.
And I don't know. I don't know if you could attribute it to me being around people less, as in not every day, or the mask, or just I, got into a better routine health wise. But all the same, just wanted to ask real quick. if you wear your mask or you take it off once the rule is lifted, I guess there's really no reason to look at you funny. But I guess that's just the Rona update for the week. Secondly, I do have a link, a quick video we gotta watch. It's an update to something we've been talking about. So go ahead and pull that up, Ace. It's the first joint. So I'm not necessarily saying we've been following the Adrien Broner saga, but because of him, we definitely kind of went through a couple discussions. And last, story surrounding him, if you may or may not recall, is when he was asking his loyal supporters and fans to send him $13 so he wouldn't have to, join OnlyFans, if you recall. But since then, he's started training, and he had a fight, and he won a fight, and he had a post-fight interview, and I just wanted to pull this particular clip up to give you an indication of a man that allegedly at one point only had $3,000 in the bank, and was in court saying in front of a judge that his friends were sending him money that was flashed on Instagram. To now, this is where he's at. If you thought he was going to make any changes in his lifestyle, this is where he's at right now.
Said we will see a different Adrien Broner. How different will we see now going forward? Like now, are you going right back to training?
See, that's the thing. It is a different AB. It is. What happened was, I only had $13 coming into this motherfucking fight. We done flipped that to about 13 million. So a lot of things go change. We gonna listen. I ain't gonna lie. For the rest of the weekend, we're gonna pop bottles, cash checks, and have sex. But on Monday, it's back to kicking ass and hitting bags, though. Real talk.
All right.
With that $13 amount.
So yeah, I don't necessarily have any more to say about this, to show about this. Just wanted to give y'all an update where the brother's mind state at. I don't actually even have a salute to give out. Just a quick, nice little update. In case anyone was intrigued.
Did he pay the thing?
Oh well, he's on. He's on camera saying he just kind of upped himself to 13 million. So next time he's in court, he can't use the "I don't have any money and my friends are giving it to me" excuse. But we'll see. But
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah, good for him, I guess. Although, again, given that message, it was slick what he said. But anyway, let's jump into our real topics now. What is even the first joint? I'm gonna just kind of be surprised as we go through myself.
Let's go in order, right?
Yep, everything's in order. So this was a couple weeks ago at this point, but in the South, specifically in Texas, as you guys may remember, there was some I don't even think they were extreme weather storms. I just think they were weather storms. And for us in the East Coast, we probably would look at that and that's just a normal winter day. That's nothing to really even talk about. But obviously, if you live in a region that hardly ever gets snow, I can understand how it can be a bit of a surprise and a problem. So obviously, if you saw some of the stories, people were losing power for like a week. I think they said people were like, I think some of the worst case scenarios I heard were people were freezing to death. I don't have any facts or I just heard people were going through it. Y'all all heard about this, or is y'all hearing this for the first time?
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Good. So yeah, obviously there was a lot of talk. I think we even mentioned it the other day what homeboy did. He went to Mexico. What's his name again? Ted Cruz. So it seemed like, you know, people were wilding, people were going through it, but this caught my eye. This dude is a politician. I forget what is. I think he's just a mayor, not just, but he's a mayor of some city in Texas. But you know, someone can fact check me if I'm wrong. His name is Tim Boyd, and he posted on Facebook an interesting message, and it's kind of lengthy, but I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible. This is how the message starts off. This is his words. Let me hurt some feelings while I have a minute. Great way to start a post. No one owes you, and he said no one owes you and your family anything, nor is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this. Sink or swim. It's your choice. The city and country, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing, in all caps. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water and you deal without and think this is getting crazy, outside the box to survive and supply water to your family. If you're sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and you're sitting there waiting for someone to come rescue you because you're lazy, with the wrong "you're," is direct result of your raising. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Folks, God has given us
that's not perish either.
Yeah, this
Go ahead.
This message is riddled with it. Yeah. Folks, God has given us the tools to support ourselves in times like this. This is sadly a product of socialist. Oh my goodness, I didn't even read all this before. Socialist government where they feed people to believe that the few will work and others will become dependent for handouts. I am sorry that you have been dealing with electricity and water. Yes, but I'll be damned. If you're going to provide for anyone that is capable of doing it themselves, we have lost sight of those in need and those that take advantage of the system and meshed them into one group. Bottom line, quit crying and looking for a handout, get off your ass and take care of your own family. Again, bottom line, he said bottom line again, don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. My God, I don't like reading. But yeah, this was a real politician. It's a real post. This is not some Saturday Night Live Portlandia skit. This is very much real. And to give you the how this ended already, he definitely had to resign. I think there was a follow-up apology post, but I don't feel like pulling it up or finding it. But yeah, one, you know, what do we think of this message? And two, was some points made in this message, or is he just tweaking? Come on, keep it a buck.
This is the ultimate.
Let them eat cake.
I was thinking, pull yourself up by your
bootstraps. Yeah.
The ultimate bootstraps post.
Oh man. I mean, you kind of gotta give him credit. I definitely didn't expect anyone to jump out the window like this in 2021.
Yeah, so it says he was a now former mayor of Colorado City, Texas.
Oh, okay. Good looks.
It seems he resigned because of this post.
Yes. Yep. Now.
Yeah, I mean this was silly move.
Is this a silly move because he's a politician, or is it silly because of the messenger?
No, I mean it's just ridiculous. Like, you don't have power, you don't have water, provide yourself water. Like, it just feels over the top, like ridiculous. Like, people don't want water, people don't want electricity. Like, that's
I mean, all right. So I will be the devil's advocate.
Yeah, thank you, white devil's advocate, because you can finally start saying white devil's advocate again. But go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say, while I do understand how over the top the post is, I think it could have came from a place of hearing people complain without trying to do anything for themselves and not wanting them to just sit there and continue to be hurt by the situation instead of doing anything about it. So I think it's from a place of he knows that for whatever reason help isn't coming as quickly as people need it. So there's really no choice but to do something and not just sit there. So like I can see it from that perspective, but again, it is over the top in how it's written, and it's way over the top considering that he's a politician. Like that it just doesn't make sense that he would post this, which is made obvious by the fact that he resigned right after posting it.
No, I mean, literally all you have to say is, hey, sorry, but the resources aren't there right now. Try to make do for yourself if you can. Like, this like...
Who said it, and he got killed for that?
Fair enough, but
I mean, it's a bad spot all around. There's really no way they're gonna come out of this looking good, but this wasn't the way to go.
So,
I don't know. I mean,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even if what you were saying, Ace, if he was trying to come from a place of trying to help people out, no one's gonna want to hear it regardless, even if he phrased it all nice and then just attack people like this, because theoretically he should be in a position to do not the most, but do a lot for people struggling, because he's a mayor. I mean, that may not be fair. It could have limited resources and all that, but
yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Like, was he just sitting at home? Was he trying to do things to help?
Yeah, he could have been on the ground helping people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know to say that he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, this type of thing, emergency response, is a responsibility of the government.
You mean government as in him, or government as in the government?
As in the system, like however it works out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mayors should have a responsibility to their city. They should feel a responsibility, and so it almost feels like he's punting it, even though maybe he is under. I mean, I'm sure he's under or was under a lot of pressure, but at the same time, like, what was this Facebook originally?
Yeah, Facebook
or Twitter.
It's Facebook.
But yeah, like, come on,
like,
you gotta do better.
That the city and the power providers owe you nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not, you pay taxes and you pay your electricity.
Yeah.
And your water bills. So
those type of services are under their responsibility. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
You're paying for them, like you said.
Yeah, and that's literally what people were saying. So it's kind of interesting how he came out and said this. But no, I was just thinking. Obviously, you guys provided some really good perspective. It doesn't. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking currently. Obviously, here on the Be Warmed and Be Filled podcast, we're not new to messaging like this. I feel like you guys have out of your own mouth said, things somewhat to the effect of what the brothers is
not on this level.
Obviously on this level, but to the effect of. But I just find interesting what I thought from this is so he ends it with the interesting little quote. I don't know if it's a quote, but it's something that I somewhat commonly say: don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. So when I look at this, my biggest problem is that he really didn't provide any solutions. He said figure some shit out.
Find some water.
Yeah, like even because to what you were saying, I don't agree with the fact that you shouldn't be able to tell people that at the end of the day you do have to have some level of dependence and some level of like you have to figure things out for yourself. But that being said, if you're going to go on a long rant about it, you got to provide some solutions. Provide somewhere where you can maybe get a generator, somewhere where you can get some fresh water. You can't just say figure things out like in this kind of scenario. So
yeah, I agree. You should have gave some steps.
So obviously this was a flunk on this guy's part. I wonder what happens to see, that's the other thing. What happens to people like him? He resigned from mayor. Is he gonna what is he gonna do?
I'm gonna fuss on Facebook. Yeah, or go to, get a new
He's
job.
definitely got money, because if he's talking like this, then he's pretty well off in this situation. So he's straight.
Hey man,
You got nothing to worry about.
I just feel like we never get the follow up for what happens to the people, but it doesn't matter. The last thing I was gonna ask, I don't know if y'all have any more for this, but
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
when I think about the message, I did think about for a second like tenants and renters who tend to be reliant on their landlord, etc., for every little thing and don't really know how to do for themselves. So, which is not, I mean, it is what it is, but there are people who just don't know how to do anything.
Well, I mean, it
for
comes
themselves, which is,
to the argument of like,
go ahead.
Am I paying for the full total package? Like, I don't have to lift a finger. Like,
I mean, it's not a matter of what they're paying for. It's like because they never had to do for themselves. They don't know where to begin in certain respects. But I don't know. I don't know how you gently say that to people like that. But besides, like you said, giving instructions, because I think a lot of people were, spreading information. You got to do this, you got to do that, and I think it did help. But okay.
Yeah, I say that, but I don't know if I don't have the answer. I don't know if we have the answer to what is the bar for bar best way to relay this messaging. And especially, I don't want to get too, into things, but like, I feel like it kind of is getting worse. 2021, people really don't want to hear that type of messaging, but maybe that's not true. Salute to everybody in Texas. That's, I mean, obviously that it's since then subsided, and I think people are back to some sense of normalcy. So, hey man, don't go on long rants, and don't start them off with "let me hurt some feelings while I have a moment," because when you start off with that, people are not gonna want to hear what you got to say after. The last thing.
It's Texas. They do things different down there. So
dang, everything's bigger in Texas.
Maybe he thought he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wanted to resign.
This is definitely a good way to get out of a job, going around like this. I was gonna ask, since we're used to this type of activity, when power goes out for us, I mean, what's your mindset? Are you like, the government got it? I mean, not the government. It's not really the government. It's more so the providers. But I don't know. Do you feel like?
No, I do. I get pissed at the
power company.
Yeah, the power company.
Yeah.
For taking long, and also not being able to have a clear timeline. Even though I do, in some ways, understand it, it's not like I just completely can't understand why that would be. It's still frustrating as frick. So.
Yeah.
Reimbursement should be had.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Yeah, actually, that's not even like a controversial take. Like, if you pay for power and at some point your power is out, can I get that money back? Wow.
That pretty much
probably
solves
got
the
something
problem.
in the contract or the bill saying that you agree to deal with any outages. They have some level of backing on that probably.
Maybe now, but Connecticut did say something about putting something in place where you could recover a certain amount if it was over a certain amount of time or something like that. They were talking about it.
I mean, I saw a post about the Texas thing. Some of the utilities were upping the cost of electricity, like by
some dude had to pay like
astronomical amounts.
Electric bill.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Treating it like a commodity where because it's in.
Yeah, you can't do this.
What they were doing.
No, I think electricity is supposed to be considered like a public good. It's supposed to be in a different category. That's why you have I think you have less competition with power companies. Maybe no competition because certain areas are just it's just one power company in a certain area. But yeah, that's messed up.
Man. Hey, man. Like I said, salute to everybody in Texas. All right, let's move right along. What's the next joint? Oh, man. Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Oh, yeah, zoom in. Let's get a nice close up. And maybe we should play it. Maybe we should actually play it. Maybe we should.
Beginning.
Yeah. So, what this story is, and this is a couple of weeks ago at this point as well. But one of our favorite rappers? Question mark. I don't think that's true. Caught some flack. Some bars he put out. I think this was a feature too. It wasn't even his record. If I was a rapper and when I go on a feature, I would be very safe, because if you mess up, if you say something controversial, you're hurting the artist that you were on the record with. But I was saying, Meek Mill, he had some bars, and in this verse he mentioned Kobe Bryant, rest in power, and his daughter, also rest in power to her. Again, maybe we'll play it, but just real quick, the bars he said. I gotta read and rap on here. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, you gotta read it word for word.
I don't say the N-word, but I got niggas eating on me, and they never told me. I got in the feeling about this money. They really owe me, and it effort always tell me. I don't know if that's how we spit that she really loved me, but she ain't show me.
So sensitive.
And then he said, yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my choppers. It'll be another Kobe. So,
all right.
You know, I'm not. Obviously, my delivery doesn't really tell the tale, but as you can tell the part that was, caught a lot of attention. And I don't particularly want to spend too much time on Meek Mill. There was a follow up that of Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife. She put out a message. She's good at responding. She's good at clapping back. That's all I'll say. But she just said something effective like, I'm not very familiar with Meek Mill's music, but I find this verse incredibly offensive and so on and so forth. And then he said that he apologized, and even he was catching a lot of backlash. So I think he might have even deactivated his account for a day or something like that. All
he didn't even really apologize though.
He said he did.
If you look at his response, unless I'm remembering wrong, I think he said something like, he posted like a picture like Kobe and Gianna's daughter, and said like with him at the game or something, saying that he has all the respect for them. And
well, he said he privately apologized to her. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I didn't see that, so I must have missed that. the public didn't look like much of an apology.
No, on the outside it looked like he was
doubled down.
Yeah, I saw some doubling down as well. But I said Meek Mill saying this is whatever. The question is just kind of the age-old question of like, when it comes to rapping, is anything off limits or is everything on the table? We must have talked about this in the past, but what's our thoughts on that?
To be fair, I would generally tend to say that all is fair, and the bar is not.
It's not bad.
It's not disrespectful.
Let's just stop right there. It's a bad.
I won't say it's not disrespectful. I can see why people take offense, but at the same time,
it'd be another Kobe.
It could have been worse. Because he's talking about himself.
Yeah, he's not saying anything disrespectful about Kobe.
Yeah,
he's not saying.
No one said he is. No one said he's dissing Kobe. It's the fact that he's using Kobe's name so like you're turning his name into like a.
To be honest, this
is a
not
decent
bad.
level bar.
Oh my god! You know what's crazy? I was gonna come in here and mention the fact that, just to give my take real quick, it's case by case, but the bar's got to be good at the very least. And this is a case where I think the bars were not good. So what are y'all talking about?
Nah, this is a good bar.
Wait. I'm going down.
Bars were not good, or are we talking about just that line?
The line.
This line.
This line.
Because I'm everything else. But yeah, this line.
No,
I don't think it's bad. I don't think so.
This is a good bar.
Absolutely not.
It has a double entendre.
Absolutely not.
Come on, dog. This is a good bar.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, if he said he was gonna take somebody out like Kobe in a Kobe-like way, that would have been whack. That would have been messed up, I think. But honestly, this ain't that bad. I feel like I've heard worse.
I'm not saying it's the worst. I'm just saying it's not a good bar. Heck no.
That's a good bar.
I don't think it's that bad.
That's a good bar.
Honestly,
I did not think y'all.
I mean, I get why you gotta clean it up.
I get why you gotta come here and defend these bars.
I mean,
yeah. And the other thing too, I think, it's kind of tough for me to say whether he should have said it or not. Because I was gonna say there are other rappers who could have said this, and
that's what I was gonna say too.
Maybe not. I won't say gotten away with it, but it would have made sense coming from some other rappers.
What do you think about like a Denny Brown?
Yeah,
I feel like I could have heard it from Denny Brown.
I mean, even I'm thinking of references to like Tupac on what's that? Not Fantastic Damage. The joint with LP and his company Flow, Fun Crusher Plus. They said some controversial stuff on their in their bars too, but they were extremely underground, and it was kind of, I mean, they just let stuff fly like that all the time, so I don't think it was out of left field for them to do something like that. I mean, even on a low level, and I know nobody likes Eminem, but something like this, I could definitely see him.
Yeah, I don't like to agree at this point, but you do make a sense. Cause I don't like the fact that some people can get away with other things. I don't like that on a like just public person level, that some people can say something and some people can't. But I see what you're saying. Some rappers, especially depending on like their level of whether they're underground or whether they're more mainstream, they can definitely get away with a lot more and get away with a lot less.
It's about how you build your persona too.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he can't say it based on the rapper he is, but I think he needs to needed maybe to understand that by saying it, he's putting himself in a negative light in obviously a lot of people's eyes. So if that's what he wants to do, being the person he is, then I'm not going to say don't do it, but definitely consider it.
So it sounds like y'all are of the belief that it shouldn't be necessarily like a rule. Like we shouldn't be able to say whether somebody can say something or not. But artists should be conscious of their, I don't want to say persona, but what they're known for, maybe is a better way to say it. And
also their fan base.
What could come of it. Yeah. Their whole...
How they're going to take it.
Yeah. Y'all are making a lot of sense.
It might be the timing too, honestly.
I was thinking
like
about that too.
10 years down the line, if somebody said this, it's almost like saying I'm gonna go out like a great. There's really no negative connotation.
It was somewhat around the time of it being a year ago since it happened. That is an interesting point. Yeah. No, you're...
That is a really good double entendre.
No, you're wrong. This is a way...
It's not bad.
Nah, you're wrong. That and it's against, in the consensus, it's a bad bar as well, and not just because of obviously what he said.
I mean, I don't think it necessarily flows with the rest of the content. That's why
we're not here
out of place. It seems like it's an out of place, thing. But if it were more well incorporated, I think the whole
if it was a whole scheme.
Yeah, if there could have been a decent verse.
Yeah.
We're not here to analyze bars. You have any thoughts on this, Ghost?
I'm kind of of the mind that I wouldn't say it. I don't necessarily have a problem with him saying it, but the fact that he doubled down after his wife said, "Nah, you went too far," that's a no for me. He should have just took the L and apologized. Maybe not taking the song down, but if you doubling down on what you're saying, then not a good look. That's
what I was gonna ask. If real quick, if an artist puts out some bars and somebody's offended by it, and even that can be a case by case, because some people get offended by it. Freaking Doja Cat fans got offended when Nas said what he said, but what should their reaction be when the public and the person that is connected to what you said is offended about it?
I respect the level of respect required to apologize or clean it up or whatever, but at the same time, I do think it's a little bit whack to have to do it.
No, I don't know. I hate apologies.
A widow whose husband died.
No,
and he doesn't like something. There's no.
This is a case where an apology is probably justified, but I typically don't like apologies, especially apology videos where you're crying in the video. Not that Meek Mill would do that.
It's not so much that I don't like the apology. I don't like the system that requires the apology. Like, it's a song. If you don't like it, move on. But I get it. If you're the widow of the person specifically, but I don't know.
I would double down if I was Meek.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I appreciate a good double down. Not in this case.
Usually I do too, but not in this case.
Not in this case. Not at all.
I think, I don't know. Like she said, she's not even really that familiar with Meek Mill's music. So like, the only reason she knows about this bar is probably because of the publicity that people gave it.
Yeah. And
because it was trending. So if she wouldn't have cared anyway about a Meek Mill bar, why did she? Like, I don't know. But again, she is the widow, so gotta be respectful of that. But
yeah. And I mean, even going.
I don't know if I would want to be in contact with the person if I didn't care for the music. Unless there's a reason that she should have been. Although I guess they already knew each other, right? Maybe to some degree. Because he was at the games, I guess. I don't know all that, but
yeah, just because you even if he's met Kobe, that does not mean he's familiar with his wife. But everybody knows Kobe.
Yeah.
Family to some degree.
I mean, now that you said Danny Brown, I'm thinking about the song. What's it? Die Like a
Die
Rock
like a
Star or
rock
something?
star. Yeah.
The amount of people he said he would die like.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have gotten away with it.
He couldn't have gotten away with it. Some people could have got away with it. Yes. Yeah, again, it's not fair, but I think that's one of the moral stories. You got to be conscious of what you can get away with. You got to know your platform, your listeners, and, you know, the perception of you. Just in general. Dang, that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's so... I hate stuff like that. Man. Because
I mean, it's kind of like a stay in your own lane type of thing. I don't know.
It is. It's just kind of like the I have my running list of people that can say and do and get away with anything. I guess Trump is off of it now, but like 50 Cent. Remember what he said when speaking of Trump, when Trump was up, when they showed like when he said he's gonna vote for Trump because Joe Biden has some like high tax plan or whatever for the rich. Boozy can say a lot. Booty still says the F word that rhymes with maggot. I don't know if people realize that. And a lot of people in the South do. But I should stop snitching. It's just so interesting. Some people can say anything. But the rest of us, it'll be canceled and a whole bunch of this. But
was Cardi B ever on the list?
Cardi B is on the list, but
okay.
she's kind of gotten the mainstream to where I think she'll apologize now and again. But yeah, that's another good one. There's people that are still on that list, and I think
sometimes though she genuinely like realizes that she's wrong about stuff. It seems, unless
she's gotten hit. Well, she's gotten hit with that cancel wave, so she knows that wave, the heat wave. Yeah, maybe I'm just jealous, and even though I would say I don't get jealous of things. I don't know. I definitely want to be in a space where I can say anything. That's one thing I aspire to. But regardless, yeah, I think we all agree on this. Salute to Kobe Bryant's family. You know, always sending light to them, and rest in power to Kobe. Yeah, let's keep going. What's this next joint? Oh my god. So I'll play it before we dissect this. But the headline for what the topic is about to be on is Funk Flex. My bad. Funk Flex discusses why he went public about his liposuction procedure. Play it real quick.
Public with it just because I thought everyone did. Now, I can't say I seen, but I could say, I did. And to my knowledge, like Drake and Kanye and LL and people like that. That's what they're doing. When I called and I got in touch with the guy who did it for me, I was recommended because current football players and current boxers go to him.
He's taking everybody down.
Wow.
Man, oh man.
He didn't just keep it generic. He has full name. Wow.
This is bad. Wow.
Yeah, I forgot he name dropped people in professionals. Yeah.
Man, this is like when you get in trouble with something. You say, "Oh, my sibling did this. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it."
Yeah.
Like he was put on the spot. Like he was.
By the way, kind of mixing with.
Oh my god!
Kind of mixing what we just talked about. Maybe that's one of the strategies people should use more. Maybe Meek Mill should be like, y'all coming at me, but y'all heard what Danny Brown said. Y'all heard what he said. Y'all heard what the homeboy said. Obviously that wouldn't have worked out, but yeah, this is interesting. Like I said, I kind of forgot that he name dropped, but obviously salute to Funk Flex, obviously a whole legend, even though
this is weak. Like, I don't even have a problem with the lipo stuff.
We no longer say.
The fact that he felt the need to defend it to the extent that he said, "Oh, these other people did it too," means that he's not secure about it, and he's
No,
just,
I mean,
Well,
it feels like Well, yeah. I mean,
feels
I
fine
think
with
I
what
agree,
he
but it
said.
feels like this is what he did. But no, it sounds like he was feeling the heat, like
well, before we
like they were shaming him for it.
before we get too
reflect some of that.
too deep into it, because obviously, I'm not explaining too much on the actual story. I like this story because it opens us up to have discussion about doing aesthetic surgeries, and aesthetic procedures. And it's great because we don't even have to bring women to discussion, because now we have a whole male example. It's nice. But yeah, you guys, I like where you guys are going. It doesn't seem like it's not an excuse he's using, but it's just that strategy of everyone else is doing it, so why can't I do it? Do people respect that? What? I always hated
There's
that.
no way people respect.
No, but I think to cut him some slack, maybe that is something that persuaded him to go ahead and do it, though. Like, if he saw, this guy did it, maybe it's not a big deal.
Is there anything quick that y'all can think of that y'all normally wouldn't do, but because you heard somebody else do it, it enticed you to do it? I can't think of anything else that quick off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top, but I feel like I think we're all susceptible to that to some extent. If we're being honest.
Yeah, and it depends. It really depends on the level of what it is. It'd also be interesting to know, because I didn't do too much digging. I wonder if he's ever publicly slandered somebody for getting any type of procedure, because he's very much he's the person that slandered Tupac, so he definitely went at everybody and anybody for less. Yeah, but like I said, salute to him. I just to get my take on it, I don't necessarily. I'm always of the belief, try the natural way, and obviously there's like I mentioned previously, there's a stirring debate about whether working out and doing things like that is natural, but we're not gonna get into that right now. I'm of the belief, you should try to do it naturally, but I'm also of the belief of, if I want to do something to make myself look better and feel better, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna do all this explaining for it. That's he should have just been like, it's something I want to do. I have it good enough where I can do it. And that's the whole story. Anything? I mean, I don't think there is, but obviously I could be sleeping on something. Anything unlawful about doing things like this?
The argument can be made.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I don't know. For me, I'll just say, if you think about it on a certain level, if there's absolutely nothing that you're fixing for a physical reason, yet you're cutting yourself open, figuratively or literally, however these procedures are done, it seems a bit weird.
They might.
I know this.
Swipe over. They might
injecting,
they might
cutting,
show it.
however. Oh yeah. Okay.
Maybe
either way.
Maybe they suck it out of you. It's gross.
Yeah. I think it's like a needle or a tube or whatnot. But yeah. However they're done, it does seem kind of weird to be going into the body when you're not fixing anything that's actually wrong.
Well, I mean,
putting yourself up.
I mean, he probably was overweight and probably not in the healthiest shape. there was health benefits. This wasn't fully just an aesthetic thing.
Which is also the argument, like if there's health benefits, but there's if we're talking generally, there are aesthetic surgeries and treatments are for looks. Like there are procedures that are strictly for looks, but I think as we mentioned before offline, I feel like some dental procedures are also cosmetic, and we don't bat an ate at them. So
I'm on record. If I'm not, let me get a little change in my pocket. I'm getting my teeth, obviously the most natural route possible, but getting my teeth done.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely objections. There's definitely reasons why, or usually people's reasons for it are usually that there's nothing wrong with it. So I don't know. For me, like I said, it's the cutting open part, doing all this invasive type stuff when you're not actually ill.
Yeah, but again, ill can kind of get subjective. But it sounds like we're not necessarily against this. So y'all telling me if, again, I'm trying to keep women out of it, but if a brother came to y'all and, yeah, I'm thinking about doing some surgery, slim myself down a little, get rid of this gut, y'all would be like, I'm pray for you and keep it moving.
That's the other thing I was gonna mention, that there's a risk factor, and it's like, what is pushing you over that risk threshold? Is it vanity?
Yeah.
Is it insecurity / vanity after having the procedure done?
Yep.
That type of thing. And if it is, maybe reevaluate that. That's probably not a good motivation. But I can't determine that for somebody else. I'd just say, you're putting yourself under a risk that's potentially unnecessary for what? And let that person figure it out for themselves. Exactly, but I mean, it's a subjective thing. Like, you feel you don't look good now. Why is that? What else could you potentially do that's not surgery? All these things.
Yeah.
You're spending a lot of money, which is, even the monetary aspect of it, you're putting yourself over a threshold and using money that could be used for something else. There's a reason for that. Is that reason vanity? Is that reason insecurity? Could you deal with that another way? Could you go about it another way?
Yeah. No, I think
it'd be more of a discussion of the risk reward thing.
I think you're right. I think it's the biggest part of it is the reasoning. Because obviously, if you truly feel like there's something that would benefit you health wise, who's to say that you shouldn't? But if you dig deep inside yourself and if it really is a matter of insecurity, I'm not the type to tell somebody how they should spend their money, but there's also that, honestly, I don't know. There's also that aspect of like, if you do try something like this and that it's like not a rabbit hole. What do they call it? A gateway, maybe? Oh,
yeah. People who get hooked on modification.
Yeah. Because if you do something like this and, it works out well, then the next day you look at yourself and, you want to modify your nose or your face or, where does that end? Kind of seem
not to bring up Cardi B again, but you saw that? Apparently she had something done to her face.
Is that real or is this gossip?
People did not like it. I'm pretty sure it was real.
Are you talking about her teeth? 'Cause we all
No. Her face, her facial structure. She looked different.
I didn't hear about that, but Cardi's a real one, by the way. So whenever she does something, I can usually understand it. I'll just say that. I don't know. I don't know the full details of that story.
Got a bad doctor. I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad. Or I don't know if I said I'm glad, but I don't know. I feel like we're relatively progressive to say that, you know, it's not a big surgeries like this is not necessarily the biggest deal, because like y'all are saying, I feel like I don't want to say extremist brothers, but I feel like some brothers would be like, there's no way you're getting into the kingdom doing stuff like this, which for all we know is true, but
a bit.
I don't think I can say that.
Yeah, I don't know if I go that far. I mean, I still do, like, and I used to, and I still do kind of hold the
Christ might pull you to the side,
the view,
be like, so what's up with this? But I don't know. I don't get kicked out.
No, I was gonna say I did, and I kind of still do hold the view that the I guess society's view of it and society's support of it and all that, I think they do tend to lead people to do these things for the wrong reasons, and too often, and excessive amounts, and all this. But I think on the basis of the individual, it's harder to say, you know, what one person thinks and how they're going about it, and whether they're influenced by the way society views it. But I think, like, if I'm looking at public figures who do it and all this stuff, for the most part, I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, they're in the public eye. This is, you know, there's their job to quote unquote look good or look a certain way, and they're doing it for the wrong reason. Like, I feel like, right or wrong, that's my assumption. But I think if you have a conversation with an individual, you might be able to see things a little bit differently. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna say salute to Funk Flex, but I think I already said it. And when I say salute to Funk Flex, I mean just because he's a legend, not necessarily because of this. Because again, he kind of gets an L for all that snitching he was doing. But you know,
I just want you to run it back one time.
Ah, man. Yeah. We're not. I'm not gonna diss on him anymore. But we need it. We kind of need something. What's the opposite of saluting somebody? I need to figure that out. Anyway, what's next? So real quick, this will probably be relatively quick, but this is another thing that came across my my timeline in my desk. This is an interesting headline or interesting post. Juicy sirloin. I don't know why they would start off by saying juicy sirloin. Juicy sirloin steaks, hot off a 3D printer, are on the menu this. Oh, it's coming out this year. Nice. Somebody's name samples 3D printed vegan meat by Israeli startup. Zoom in a little more. Can you see that?
Redefine meat.
Redefine meat. Thank you. So yeah, I guess I'll play this joint a little. Maybe I don't got a raw 12 thing, but let's see what they're talking about.
Demand for faux burgers and other alternative proteins has boomed in recent years as consumers shift their behavior over health and environmental concerns. That's attracted venture capitalists and food giants like McDonald's to the growing market. Israeli startup Redefine Meat wants to tap into that trend. The company was founded in 2018 and is using 3D printing to take plant-based products to the next level by giving diners the same sensory experience as cutting into a piece of prime beef when it comes to flavor and texture. And the company just announced it's raised the largest ever Series A funding round for a startup in that space, which will help it build a pilot factory and launch product sales. The whole cut steak, fresh off the grill, and the cuts through the crunch at the top. The company is run by CEO Eshkar Ben Shitrit, who says the key to his company's success will be taste, and that the new funding is a major step on its path to becoming the world's.
So yeah,
gotta make these things bigger.
I mean, I feel like me and Wes, we talked about, it was a point in time we were in school, we were talking about Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat every week. But yeah, just as a group discussion, what's our thoughts on artificial meat? I've always been a little hesitant to it, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't have a problem with it if the ingredients are natural, but and even
it's vegan.
3D printing
it got to be.
Yeah. Even 3D printing it, I don't know. As long as the ingredients are natural,
so it's purely
might not be an issue.
So it's purely a natural thing for you.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, you're eating 3D printed steak.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
Alright, I'm not mad at that. Y'all on board?
I mean, somewhat, but if I have the option to eat a real one, I'm probably gonna go for the real one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm gonna go for the real one.
I'm not a vegan, so this isn't my market. If I was a vegan, then
I'm still.
Also,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're about to say.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about that. If you vegan,
about vegans in general.
No, if you're vegan and you're seeking out meat substitutes,
maybe you're a vegan that doesn't have a problem with people eating meat, but you particularly don't want the protein or whatever. I don't know what you do. But
we're talking about, yes, that's fair. But there are vegans who are vegans for moral reasons in terms of nobody should be eating meat. Meat is terrible, etc., etc. Never like they don't allow any they don't cede any ground for eating meat, and yet they're okay with imitating it. Like, why do you even want to go there?
I mean, the argument can be made. Meat still tastes good, whether they believe it is morally correct or not. So, putting something in the form of something that tastes good.
So I got you. I got you right here. So, if they made artificial ham sandwiches, no swine in it, are you eating that?
Listen, we already got the example of Eleazar, so
hey man, I'm just wondering what side of the fence are we on here?
Although I don't know where bacon came from, but was bacon pork only originally?
You know, I had never thought about that until somebody said it.
Yeah, I don't know.
After the fact, like somebody was like, "Oh."
I think it might have been a Jehovah's Witness where I first heard it from.
Yeah, but it had never occurred to me. I just thought it was a curing process, like because we always knew about turkey bacon, turkey bacon. But yeah, no, I'm not doing the
exactly
beyond pork.
Like,
I feel like this has come up before, and people defended it. It wasn't bacon. It might have been something else.
No, I mean I get it because it's like maybe it's one of these, like a sausage or something. But still, like those things, as far as I know, it's the curing process, it's the seasonings, etc., etc. Whereas if you made a meat intentionally based on mimicking the other meat, like it's still at the end of the day, the turkey is still turkey. The beef.
Yeah, I mean you're good. To be honest, you're arguing for it.
Hey man,
you're convincing me it's okay.
No, but I think, like I said, I think those things are a curing process. This and a seasoning process of a meat that already exists. If you're starting from the ground up premise, I'm going to recreate a pork chop. Like, I don't know, it's a little different. But at the same time, like,
I mean,
if you buying it for yourself, is
we can bring up that example as all you want. But if you just buy it for yourself, nobody knows you're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, you're not morally compromised. You shouldn't be in your own mind, I guess. Like Paul said.
The scripture don't say you don't eat swine because of the taste. It's just you don't eat swine, so something else tastes like swine, but it's not.
Dang, I can't believe I've never thought about this before. But yeah, I wonder what's. Israelite general consensus. I mean, I don't know if they even thought of this about artificial pig pork.
The reason I wouldn't do it, even if it was just myself, is because I don't have any interest in finding out.
Yeah, exactly.
It
would be more for people who who ate swine. What it tastes like.
Yeah.
That's why I like having these discussions. A brother that's all his life ate pork, and he wants to, stop that. Introduce him to some artificial pork. Huh.
Yeah.
I guess.
Wow, this is interesting.
I feel like at one point he might have to cut the artificial. No. I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, if he's not morally, if his conscience is clear, then
now I say this,
that's
but
cool with me.
Another gotcha, and it's not a gotcha podcast, but another gotcha. Y'all were, if I recall correctly, y'all were pretty against any semblance of artificial human companionship. And I'm not saying it was your argument, but if you were against it, I'm not assuming, but the argument kind of comes into like only the Most High is allowed to, make beings. So
that's not my.
I'm not saying it's yours. I'm just saying that's could be the argument, part of it. So, and I guess if it's not your argument, I should probably shouldn't be bringing it up. But I mean, I can't necessarily think of any scripture to fully back it up, but I can easily imagine it. The argument of humans shouldn't necessarily be responsible for trying to recreate things that the Most High makes.
I'll say
cows and animals like that, like clones.
That's where I thought you were going. I'm not with no clone burger. I'm not with no lab grown from real cow cells. I don't want that.
So while it's obviously different in the process, what is the difference? It's still artificial.
Because they started
this process. I'm assuming they're looking at the proteins from a real actual cow and mimicking that. So
no, they're using the cow cells to make more cow cells. Whereas the plant stuff, it's plant. Like, it's just like, to me, it's just like eating a salad.
Yeah.
But in this
they just did a little more to it.
If it's 3D printed, though, it's not necessarily like there's no vegetable base.
What do you mean?
They look like they're using plants.
This is vegetables. Yeah.
Don't tell me
what else are they gonna use?
Don't tell me to watch the video again.
Straight chemicals? I don't know. It's organic material.
It's
plant.
organic material, but it's still like the 3D.
It's vegan.
3D.
It has to be vegetables.
Look at them. They're in there making plants.
Yeah, I mean that's
They-
look like greens to me.
Right? Maybe my impression of this is off because
No, this is vegan, so they don't.
Assuming that
I mean, this doesn't tell us the whole.
Plastic?
This doesn't tell us the whole process, but yeah, they're using plants, putting in a 3D printer, and somehow steak comes out. Juicy steak comes out of it.
okay.
Were you thinking that it was like straight chemicals? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think they-
chemical, but
I think they need the organic material from the plant. I would imagine, like either plants or animals, and because it's vegan, it has to be a plant. So, but yeah, I'm not with the animal ones where they straight cloning. I don't want that. And why? Maybe my reasoning is tenuous and it's just me, but I'm not trying to eat a clone burger.
Yeah, y'all. I feel like, and yeah, I'm not saying any of us have to, but y'all reasonings aren't on some of this stuff ain't really very hard, very sharp. It just
Well, I mean, one thing is I've read an article and they were talking about cloning more than just regular animals. So I believe one might have mentioned cloning people cells, like doing weird crap. Like I'm not.
I mean, what's weird?
That's
It's 2020.
that's a rabbit hole.
It's 2021. Clones are coming.
To eat.
Oh,
All to eat.
why would we?
Yeah.
Why would we? All right. Yeah. Okay. You got me. That is all right.
Exactly.
I didn't see. I didn't. Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
Some twisted stuff. Some
Yeah.
weird twisted stuff.
That's
Cloning is twisted.
This
to me.
sounds like episode of Twilight Zone, and that's the punchline.
Cloning is twisted to me. I don't see it being
So
good. I mean, I guess the one thing is that they try to take your cells and regrow things. I think somebody just got a regrown esophagus replacement or something from his own cells.
that's good.
Which, okay, but from the food world,
Yeah, nah, you just introduced something really weird. But to get back to my question, so y'all are not of the belief that only the Most High can produce something that's otherwise just natural. I don't know if I'm saying the question fully right, but y'all know what I'm asking.
I mean, it sounds good, but I don't know if I've ever gone that far.
If we're going that far, then technically all synthetic products that we use in our everyday lives, that's not.
No, but you mean things that are living, right?
Yeah.
So like a fully grown clone.
I mean, not because we're off clones.
Okay.
Meat and cows and things of that nature. They're only before any of this. They're only developed naturally. They only come to be naturally.
I mean, I guess the thing that I want to say is, if they're gonna clone the meat, I will grant that it was never part of or
Again, I'm not talking about cloning.
how do I say it? Okay, but I'm saying like it's not like they're going from the skin cell of a cow to a full living, eating, breathing cow. They're going to a steak.
Yeah.
Just an assembly of more
just like
muscle cells.
Yeah, it's like the 3D printing. They're not 3D printing a whole cow. They're just 3D printing a piece of steak.
Yeah, but a steak doesn't grow naturally.
Oh, okay.
You don't get a steak, you get a cow.
I see what
So
you're
I
saying.
don't think they've ever. Yeah, my point is, I don't think they've ever done. They've never really created life. Nobody's ever really created life.
Yeah.
In that sense,
Yeah,
maybe cells, but not
doesn't make steak
a living, breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't. really think it's possible. This is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, it's possible
to go from nothing to.
It's coming. All you need to do is all you need to do is 3D print a brain and 3D print art. What you mean?
The soul coming.
We're getting into Frankenstein territory.
I mean, do you need a soul to be alive?
Yes.
That's another podcast.
Blade Runner.
That's another podcast. Exactly. When them androids come and they start asking, "Are we a human?" Y'all gonna say y'all gonna be talking about a soul, and they ain't gonna care. Dang, good stuff. But no, I fully I can that rationalization at the end. I can sit with that. Even though I again don't necessarily think I'd be on the impossible beyond.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this. I ain't touching any of this. I'm not, because it's probably be.
Well, you say that until there's a meat.
Wait, hold on.
There's a meat shortage.
You never had an Impossible Burger?
I have. And I
okay.
Like it.
So you touched.
Where'd you have it?
So
did you have it out?
So you touched it.
I had.
Hold up. You had Beyond?
Frozen. I've had Beyond, the frozen version.
Okay.
I don't think I've had like Impossible Burger from like McDonald's or whoever has it. But I don't have any interest in trying it.
I've had one.
No fake sirloin steak.
I've had an Impossible Burger from a small chain, which is like it's not a fancy restaurant, but like sit down, get waited on type restaurant. And
the beef
Impossible oh no, that was beyond beef patty.
By the way, it's all in the same category to me. Sound like y'all would eat the 3D printed meat in a heartbeat.
The 3D printed is vegetables. I mean, it's the same thing. Like if they had this 3D printed beef patty, like
y'all can have fun with that. I ain't touching.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
But if it's not bad, why does it get the real thing?
Because they were out. It was a Jamaican restaurant.
That's by the way, that's why I introduced. What if there's a shortage of meat?
Okay, if there's no alternative, then I'll eat it. But it won't ever be a preference thing for me. Where
for sure.
Purposely buy an Impossible Burger when I can regular.
I will say, I did order the Impossible Burger. There was no shortage, but I just wanted to try it, and it did taste like meat. And
of course, it tastes like
I
meat.
was impressed. But I don't think the Beyond taste is as legit, like, but because I'd heard about a bunch of stuff about Impossible before I got it. I was like, let me see what this is about, and it wasn't bad. So I wasn't disappointed.
All right. All I'm saying, even though and sound like some of us are not necessarily gung ho about eating artificial meat, my engineer in me, I am kind of hyped for this kind of stuff. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and a point that should be made is that most of this stuff is not any healthier than it doesn't usually claim to be.
Yep. Very much agree. So salute to these guys. Okay, what's next? Speaking of artificial, man, this is my type of podcast. These topics, and I picked a lot of these, so that's cheating. But Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. I was gonna say he's been podcasting a lot. Or he's been doing a lot of podcast style interviews. He might have his own interview or podcast, but I don't know. But he's on somebody else's podcast doing an interview, and we'll just play it. He said something very interesting that caught my attention. Play that real quick.
Having multiple mothers thing, it does seem like a difficult track.
Stressful. You know, I think about what I did. Everyone I had a child with was based on their DNA and athletic background.
That's genius.
It had nothing to do with how fine you were or how you looked.
So it's strategic.
I don't care anything about bad and all that shit. Hey, if I wanted models, I don't want models. I want athletes. What'd you do in high school? Show me some tape. Show me some tape. No, I'm serious.
Is he serious?
He's got good comedic delivery.
He's definitely a personality, very much so. But he's don't sound like he's joking. So I mean, honestly,
Actually, there was a billionaire who said, I think he paid LeBron and Serena Williams like $100 million to have a child.
I heard about that.
I'll be the most athletic being
Not surprised.
ever, but
There are people in the world.
So I mean, you know, Chad Johnson said that, and everybody else in the room just laughed it off. But it just don't sound like doing things outside the norm to produce a child that is quote unquote a superior being, or a being of what you want them to be.
I think it's, well, first off, if his kid's gonna look at this and it's gonna be if they grow up and say, "Oh, I want to be a doctor," you really think he's gonna be cool with it? If you
No, it's not about that. It's giving them the option, the ability.
Is this where we get into the eugenics discussion?
No, I'm asking. I'm asking that to say is what he's describing, because I like to say everything is eugenics. When people talk about I want my child to have certain eye color or certain hair, it all sounds like eugenics to me. But what he's describing to y'all, does it sound like it's in that family, that field?
Right on.
All right. And we all saw the people interviewing. They just laughed it off and he ha, like it's normal. So, are we finally ready to have that conversation? Is this a normal thing in society?
I mean, I guess the distinguishing factor is that he's not prescribing or prohibiting anybody else from doing what they want to do. It's his own kids. And he's not going to repopulate it.
Well,
whatever.
Yes, obviously
the town.
What eugenics is kind of synonymous with. Maybe that's not the right word, but there's obviously some negative connotation with that. But if we take evil out of it, just the concept of wanting your own offspring to be a certain something, is that wrong? Come on, keep it a buck.
I'm not gonna say it's wrong at all. I have no problem.
Dang. Okay. Now we're having an honest conversation. Oh, do we all agree? Before I say something I shouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't compromise, like, he seems to be choosing multiple mothers, which, I mean, in that sense,
multiple wives conversation. We can tie that in too.
It doesn't even sound like he's going. It don't even sound like he's going there. It sounds like he's just talking about baby mamas.
No.
As long as it doesn't like compromise other more important factors, I don't think I can fault anybody for it. However,
and let's take the searching for multiple out of it. Let's just stick with one.
Yeah. No. But I think this type of thing can tend to backfire. In terms of, well, just because anything can happen, especially with genetics. Unless he's really doing it scientifically, where he's really getting DNA records, but even still, you can end up having issues or complications.
It sounds like his research.
Health issues.
It sounds like his research. The extent of his research is: do they play sports in high school, in college?
Yeah. But he did say DNA, but I'm pretty sure it was a joke. But still, yeah, I mean, I think these types of things can backfire. I think there's people who try to do it like famously for IQ, obviously appearance, IQ, but even IQ has been proven to
IQ. I've never heard that one. If somebody's quote unquote intelligent, their offspring is more likely to be intelligent. Is that?
I think they find that there are heritable factors in IQ. However, IQ is not as important to success as previously thought, beyond a certain point. But yeah, I mean, you still have like health conditions that could be detrimental, unless you're trying to breed those out too.
No,
But
I'm be honest. I'm not gonna get into my full, where my brain goes when it comes to eugenics. Even though I'm on record, and I'll say it, there are some things that I would like to see in my offspring. Maybe I'll save those for a later time. But health, I think that's something that any human would say, if possible. You would try to navigate away from that health issue, I should say.
yeah, if you have the choice, sure.
I mean, we all
but
do.
also IQ.
Not. You gotta be careful what you say here. It's coming from your side, or coming from the other person's side. You can't control what you bring to the table, and honestly,
true.
Let's just get to the shit.
But also, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
What's y'all personal take on this? In looking for a partner, looking for a spouse, and considering offspring, are y'all telling me that there's zero consideration into that, or is it something y'all think about as well? I'm keeping it a buck.
No, I mean, I just want a healthy child, so I would be, I guess, a little weary of, heritable conditions, but at the same time, it's something I just have to pray about. If that's the woman that I feel that is to be my wife, like, if
what if you got options?
If I find out, I mean, I guess it depends on when you find out about the conditions, but at the same time, it's like that's the only thing I think that I'd be super concerned about, because I think there's a lot of things that you can raise a child to be and to do, and like I don't think there's much beyond health that I would hope for.
See, I don't want to get, even though I do, but we gotta say that for another podcast. I don't want to get too deep into it, but because it kind of gets into, once you start thinking about this stuff, you start kind of thinking of people in terms of like stats, like their NBA 2K stats, and we shouldn't do that. Even I can say that. But let's just say you have a potential of 2 people that you could marry. One,
talking about having a short son.
Well, I'm never talking about height. I don't talk. Height's never in my thing, even though society will. We're not gonna get into that. But one sister, she was an athlete, intelligent. I guess we're gonna start putting. She has amazing stats, and she's really beautiful, attractive, nice skin, and all that. And by nice skin, I mean her skin is healthy. And then you have a sister that's plain Jane and average. But you might even think the plain Jane sister is cooler.
She's saying,
yeah, okay.
No, I'm gonna say hands down.
She has to be.
She has to be what?
Well,
I mean, you're kind of making it like what? That's
binary.
Not, yeah.
No, the thing is, I'm gonna say it outright. You have to go for the woman who feels like the right woman for you. Like, bottom line, I'm not. I wouldn't go as far as thinking about those things in terms of the children before the fact that you and that woman could be aged together. Like,
I say those things to say that it's kind of equal. Like, they're both really. They could be.
You can't make them equal, because then I think the choice is the more attractive woman.
For your own sake, not necessarily the child's sake. Like, you tell me attractiveness is no bearing.
Yeah, something has to take precedent.
I don't want to completely skip by the fact you said more attractive. Like, what? In all the conversations we ever had about women, you've never. Sorry. In all the conversations we ever talked about women, you've never made it seem like the most attractive is the thing you're going for.
No, I'm saying you make the situation where it's two women that are equal in everything except fitness and I think you said attractiveness as well.
Yeah,
health
that just means that she's
more fit, more intelligent, and
come on, like that's what I'm saying.
Then they're not equal, like.
Okay, but then the other sister is cool. You vibe with her more.
Then they're not equal.
Oh my gosh, y'all don't think that equals out? If a human if a human has great stats, but the other one is cooler, and I keep saying cooler.
If I can't see,
if by cooler you mean that you and this person
have a better chance,
yes, are more compatible, then it's that person.
Yeah, you gotta pick that person.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're picking a person you vibe with more, and I keep saying these loose terms, so my apologies. Then a person,
yes,
I think you have to, yeah.
So when it comes to mating, and again, this is basically a topic about eugenics. So if you listen to this and you think it's wild, my apologies. And when it comes to mating, you're putting all your personal interests above your children. That's what y'all saying.
No, you two are gonna raise a better child. If I'm
that's no, that's not set in stone.
Hold on.
And if that child comes out and they're already on some Captain America time, they might not need as much raising as the child you produce.
No, that's silly. That's silly.
Are you the Most High to say that the child is gonna come out a certain way, regardless of the genetic,
I mean, for all intents and it's a higher chance. What do you want?
No, I think the healthier the relationship between the husband and the wife, the more likely that the child will have a better childhood experience, which can lead to a better life. Like maybe they're not gonna be the athlete that the other person was, but I think, and at the end of the day, it's better for the child.
Listen, I don't have a major in eugenics. I don't fully know all the details, but I'm going off science.
Sure you can't do that these days.
Right. I'm going off science, so to speak. The child is more intelligent, more fit, probably more emotionally developed, and where's
that come from? Wait, how you gonna slip that in there?
Oh my! Listen, they
that
have
wasn't fair.
They're superhuman, for all intents and purposes.
Okay. Now, okay.
I don't know. My goal was never to create superhuman.
Exactly.
Others might.
Yeah, I'm learning that y'all goal is only y'all interest, and whatever child you produce, they got to figure it out for themselves.
Nah, see,
that's the parallel.
Still gonna be the parent.
Yeah, and you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time with parents.
The spouse. It's not about the potential children that might come out of it.
I disagree, and I don't think y'all.
For me,
I don't think
that's for you.
I don't think y'all believe that, because y'all saying the parallel I'm introducing is that you either care little about the child or you care a lot about the child.
You're saying caring about the child does not exist, and I can't.
So you're saying until that child comes out of the sister's womb, you don't care about them?
Hold up. What?
Question. Not to the extent of their genetic makeup. No, I don't.
Literally giving your child a better shot in life, opposed to letting them start at
the shot.
Okay,
hold up.
Y'all playing Monopoly. One starts at go with $200, and one starts at go with nothing. Like, that's the analogy here. Y'all are willing.
Hold up. You keep creating the false dichotomy. I truly believe that if there's a better relationship between the man and the woman, the child is going to have.
And I address that. You're going off what you believe. I'm going off science.
What? No. This is no. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, man.
We know how we know.
Your science is not addressing the emotional
Right.
disposition.
Oh my
of the child.
gosh. Okay, then the sister is more emotionally
We
intelligent than the other one.
Because now
No.
you're saying breeding can breed emotional characteristics into the child as well. Do
Listen,
you have science to back that up?
if the child is a superhuman,
Oh my god.
I don't know what to tell you.
Listen. We have.
What sister are you marrying that's gonna give you a superhuman child?
It's not about the. I mean, again, the one that's intelligent, fit, good.
Hold up.
Like they have it all. They don't even have any room to be unemotional. Like they have it all.
Hold up. Wait, what? No, okay. Anyway, we know what the man and woman need to be according to the scriptures and how they need to raise a child. And so you'll be blessed for doing that. Like, if you feel that woman has more potential to be the good woman of the scriptures, then why wouldn't you choose that woman? And why wouldn't you count on that blessing for that child?
Because of my situation.
Okay, fine.
In my situation,
they might not be.
Because in my situation, both women are equal in that regard.
They're equal in that regard.
Yes.
You said the one would be cooler, so you could potentially have a better relationship with that person. That better relationship, I feel like, has implications that you're ignoring.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I don't think that's fair. I think that there's a great deal of, this is the nature versus nurture. I feel like there's a great deal of nurture required for a child, and I think that's more important necessarily than baseline stats.
I don't know how. Again, this is a wild debate, but I don't know how y'all can say that when I'm literally saying one child, you're gonna provide the same, somewhat. Not, I guess it's not the same. You are going to provide
your end, but her end and your relationship end is different.
But I'm saying, when it comes to that, once the child is born, you're gonna love that child and provide them with everything they need, regardless. If you mate with one sister, and maybe I stop saying sister because some people
don't say that.
Some people don't. Some people don't understand the language. If you mate with one woman and her stats are amazing, that child, they might not even need all that nurturing you're describing. They're born, out the womb, I don't.
That sounds wrong. That sounds very wrong. Might not need the nurture. What? Stop.
They don't need this. They don't need all. They don't need all of it. They're good.
No, that sounds so wrong-headed. Like, a child needs the best nurturing you can give them. Like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not to say
it's not.
That's not to say coddling, but I'm saying, like, as far as experience, as far as witnessing the relationship between you and your wife from a young age.
Describing is they're gonna get the nurturing regardless. One child, they'll be even better because they got the nurturing and they got the stats.
That's what I'm saying. If everything is truly equal, but the other woman is just less qualified, what is the problem? Why wouldn't you choose the more qualified? I don't know.
Because
you're making this more level, which means that it's more disproportionate. Because the woman who has more just has more, and the other woman who has less just has less.
Because I do want to give the plain Jane woman some benefit, of course. Because I don't want to just.
She doesn't have any benefit at this point.
The benefit is There's no. I can only talk how I talk. I'm sorry. You, without any level of, like, there's no need for icebreakers. Y'all meet, y'all click, y'all cool, y'all best friends, y'all kind of made for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. let's just get to the shit right away. You love one person more than you love the other person. Yes.
That's a different question.
Because this boils down to is because you have stated on previous occasions that your priority in a relationship is more so to have children than the actual.
I don't like people courting me because it. Okay.
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 I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to misconstrue what you want. But that's what it boils down to. Am I correct?
But you're kind of right.
Okay.
Children are very important. Yes.
You're thinking you want a better life for the child,
which all parents say and should want.
Okay, I'm saying a better life for the child versus a better life than for yourself and your
100%.
When you're with. In that case, then you could say, oh, you could have an absolutely awful relationship with someone, but they'll have a child, like you said, their stats are maxed on 2K, and the child's gonna come out amazing.
Yes.
So you could look at it like you could go all the way at the other end of the spectrum. What's the threshold that you're passing? There would be none.
Good question. Answer? Retort?
Is it a 85%? Oh, you vibe with the person. 85% as much as the other one. Is it a 50?
I will. Like you said, I have something to that effect. If it helps, I'm not on the level of Ocho Cinco. I'm not necessarily looking for a woman that was an athlete and is super intelligent. I feel like most women would probably be more intelligent than myself. It's not too defined at this point. But it is something I look at. Yes.
All right, that's fair. Now let me ask you this: if the sister you're interested in is ugly, and there's a good chance the child will turn out ugly, then are you actually considering not getting with her if everything else with her is cool and straight?
Well, I'm already on record that I don't, and this is gonna sound bad because we're actually talking about people's aesthetics yesterday, but I don't believe in people being ugly and beautiful. It's too subjective.
Okay, you got the nice politically correct answer, but let's be real. This sister is she's term the what was it with Jacob and Leah?
Homely?
Huh?
Was it homely?
Yes, homely. She's homely. She is not good looking. No fault of her own. That's just how it is. And there's a good chance your child will turn out the same way. Is that having an active effect? I mean, obviously, if you go into a relationship, some part of it is physical attractiveness. But are you thinking about that for your child's sake? And would you sacrifice a relationship or not get into a relationship because she's ugly and there's a chance your kid will be ugly?
I am. Because again, all this ugly stuff, it's not really that concept. Don't even, the concept don't even work on me. But no, I'll address it.
I mean, you don't have to think about a specific person. Just imagine a person that you find not good looking.
I don't think of people like that.
Like a female Jay-Z.
Oh, hey, yo, that is wild. Aesthetics aside, aesthetics don't matter. It's a lot. I mean, they do matter, but only in some ways, some very certain ways. I'm not going in full detail right now. Health is the biggest one for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, I'm just playing. I'm saying all that stuff to y'all because I'm playing the on the side of being all for eugenics. Obviously I don't necessarily subscribe to the full theory and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I do think that y'all would think about your child before they even before that, just as just a concept, a little more than y'all think y'all do. That's all I'm trying to get at. I think everybody does.
You're wrong, but just
No, I mean, and I'll admit that's fair, but at the same time, I do hold the relationship between the man and the wife as very important and very important for the child. So even if um even if I am thinking more about the child, I know that the relationship has to be strong enough, and that's like I said, that's the person you're gonna be aged together with. So I don't want that to be. I don't want to risk that for the person that might have better stats as far as physically, and that the child might be a little more athletic. Like, and I'm not even. I mean, I didn't play sports per se. I guess I have. I'll say I have an athletic type build, but I don't
that's cool. Wrestling,
care.
if any women care about that.
But yeah, I mean, and I like to do things, play things, be active, but at the same time, so like, I don't think it's that special, and that's something that you can physically work at. Like,
Yeah,
it's not impossible. Like, all these things are physically, you're capable of improving yourself in certain ways. And I'm not trying to raise a basketball star, like, so somebody who's going to go to the NBA or whatever. Like,
I know.
that's not in my vision. So
I don't know if there's a perfect moral of the story, because this is probably going to be a trending conversation with us, but obviously you don't be too extreme when it comes to it. Should be more about love and connection. We all agree with that.
yeah. I did read a book that touched on eugenics that had some pretty shocking statements in it recently. I don't know if we want to touch on those. It was interesting.
I mean, give us the spark notes.
So basically, eugenics was a lot bigger than it seemed to be in America. Like, as far as
you just heard Chad Johnson.
Well, no, I mean, like, the official eugenics, like, spewed by different people in politics and everywhere. So, like, there was an American eugenicist who basically said that that Hitler got to or was beating the Americans at their own game. And then there were laws on the book that allowed certain eugenics practices that still haven't been revoked. Like, they're still encoded in law. And then, of course, sterilization of black women, especially.
Yep.
Also, I think they said a third of Puerto Rican were sterilized at one point. So a lot of craziness that happened and still is not rectified in law. So it's pretty wild. But yeah.
No, like I said earlier, there's definitely a negative side of eugenics, and for good reason. And that's why I can understand why people want to avoid that at all costs. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, unless y'all have any other thoughts on us, we can keep moving forward. Man, and this will probably be the last topic, because it's getting to be that time. But man, this pissed me off so much. And I don't even know if we'll have a nice moral story on this, but we'll play the.
Well, I'll ask.
Yeah.
Did you? No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we haven't watched it yet, but have you seen? There was a follow-up.
Yeah, we're talking about the follow-up.
Oh, okay.
Unless it was a follow-up one that I don't know about, but
I don't know. Maybe we just go for it.
Yeah, we'll watch it. I'll describe what happened after.
Oh, okay.
I'll describe what happened after, because it's not me talking. It's just go ahead and play it. I'm just talking about for the video's purpose. I'll probably include the video of it.
This one too? You want more?
So, what this video depicts, it depicts a woman who appears to be like a home health elderly care worker, or whatever the official title is for that. And in the video, this black woman is being spit on, blown on, berated by this elderly white woman. And man, stuff like this really makes, I'm on record, I don't get angry, I don't get mad, but this is probably where the threshold gets a little dicey, because I see stuff like this and, you know, I might choose violence on any given day if something like this were happening in my vicinity. Before we dive into it, I guess we'll look at the follow-up that I have. So in the update video, it says this home care worker forgives the white old lady for spitting on her in the viral video, and it shows them dancing and shucking and having a grand old time. Yeah, so I mean, these videos came across my timeline when I saw the first one. I think I even posted and said something like, you know, I look at that video.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, there's a video under that video. There's a video under that video with Dr. Umar Johnson.
You know he got something.
And you could already imagine what he would say, something like that. But I think I said something to the effect of like, whenever I see stuff like this, I pray to the Most High provides me that level of patience that the woman had in the first video. But also I can understand if some things are meant to be. And then when I saw the follow up, I think I just, I was like, dang. So I mean, the fact of the matter is, this woman is doing her job. She's doing what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to take care of elderly people that are maybe not in the right state of mind or that have disabilities. And because they're not in the right state of mind, because they may have disabilities and dementia, things of that nature, they may not act respectful at all times. So like I said, this might be something we can't really answer because maybe we don't necessarily have enough experience with it, but I don't know, what do y'all take from this? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I don't know. I commend the Ghanaian woman for doing her job. I mean, that is the job. Like, literally, to be able to care for these elderly people who, can't care for themselves, and like you were saying, may have some type of mental disabilities or issues that cause them to do stuff like this, or maybe it's just a mean old woman, but either way, that's the job. And I'm not saying like because it's the job that is necessarily there's nothing good that the woman did or anything extraordinary that she did. I'm just saying that yeah, but at the end of the day, that is the responsibility that they have. Mm-hmm. So I commend her for it, and anybody else in the position that has to go through stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that is what you gotta say after stuff like this. I don't know if it was really in the comments, but after the first video, I think there was a lot of replies to the effect of that woman, the old white woman, that probably would have been her last day on the earth.
What'd you say? You're cutting out.
No, I was just saying, I think
you're completely cut.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, you can't hear me.
Can't hear you.
Interesting. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
My bad.
Videos
I think I might have actually turned off the mic. Professional podcasters here. Anyway, what I was saying before is, and I'll keep it short this time. I don't think that white woman would have been alive, be honest, if that happened to me. Get to the shits. But that's not to say that's the right thing to say here. And I can't help feeling like, who's responsible for stuff like this? Like, maybe it's a matter of like the company that person works for, if it is a company, shouldn't put her in that type of position.
I'm sure there are rules and regulations regarding stuff like this, and I wouldn't be surprised if the reason that she had the camera on is because of those regulations.
Right.
But at the same time, for whatever reason, there's this woman needs or has assistance, and this Ghanaian lady is employed to do this work. So and I'm not saying like she chose to be a nurse or whatever. Maybe this was something she had to do out of necessity, but again, this is the job.
No, again, you're right. I'm glad you're bringing the voice reason here, because I definitely want to jump out the window.
Does anybody think there was a racial component? Anybody want to talk about that?
Absolutely.
I didn't consider the racial component,
and that's why I said I don't know if it's a matter of would that old lady have been treating a white home care worker like that? I don't know.
There might very well be, but that doesn't change what I was saying before.
I mean, my first impression was that this is a old white lady with like dementia or something like that.
Yeah.
She's older, probably racist in her youth, and
who reverted to her racist ways.
Yeah, and I've known people that have worked in similar circumstances, like nursing homes and elderly care places, where this is often the case. I mean, not the spitting, but they would.
No, I've heard stories. I've heard stories of like this. Yeah.
Other slurs, and some of it wasn't even malicious.
Yeah, they'll call you things, they'll throw things at you. Yeah.
That's how they were raised, and they were true. I would maybe not give them a little credit. Maybe they've grown out of their ways, but they were racist when they were younger, and they reverted to that. That was my first impression watching it. But I guess
so.
So
I've heard or seen the perspective that, like, one, in most of these cases, like, as far as I've heard or know, you don't necessarily have to continue to subject yourself to these things. You could probably like get transferred to a different person or whatever if the issue becomes too much.
If you're spitting on me,
maybe options.
It's
like
too
that.
much.
I feel like there may be options like that, or occasions for that. As well, I was also gonna say, like, sometimes I think more people, again, this is perspective, but people will, black people in general, will be more likely to subject themselves to more than a white person would tolerate.
Of course.
We gotta keep our job.
So exactly, but like, some would question whether that's necessary these days, or whether we should, be more, or try to have more dignity, I guess you could call it, in saying like, we're not going to put up with BS, like, and kind of call it like it is.
I mean, that's the side of the fence I would tend to lean on, but again, circumstances are very different between people. Some people, don't necessarily have the option to just up and leave their job. Some people, need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily even a leave your job situation. Like, black people might not be. And again, maybe this was on video because she was going to take action, or however she has to go through the motions. But and also, some people are saying that it might not even be legal to have taken that video. But I don't know. But yeah, it's the idea that black people maybe should at least be more so like their white counterparts who would complain to the manager or get a transfer, or not necessarily up and leave the job, but just take action.
That's the problem, is that you say it. They should take action, which they should, but most of the time, if I'm maybe not necessarily in this situation where it's an elderly woman who's clearly in the wrong, not caught on video, but let's say this is a situation where it's like a coworker that's mistreating you and you go to complain and it's your word against theirs, and most of the time HR isn't signing with you.
If a coworker spits on me, you don't gotta worry about HR. You don't gotta worry with that. Oh man. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we do have. I think we do have the ability to leverage, like, everything that's going on in the country and the statements that companies blatantly make about, we're going to support this and support that cause, and we don't want to see any inequality, this, that, and the other thing. And I feel like if you bring certain things to them, or even like, because people are uncomfortable at this point, like when things happen and you gotta have different, trainings, and people are talking about diversity more and all this stuff. Like, I feel like you don't have to go that hard. I feel like you don't have to go that hard to make people start sweating a little bit these days. If you really feel that you've been, targeted, and especially if you have evidence, like, they could have a lawsuit on their hands, and they're aware of it.
So this is all interesting, but another perspective that I have on this video is that maybe the Ghanaian woman is.
I like how you keep pointing out her ethnicity.
I believe the pronunciation is Ghanaian. But
Ghanaian woman, all right. Maybe she not likes being spit on, but likes this job, and maybe even likes the old lady. And we saw two perspectives, or not two perspectives, but two different situations with the old lady.
Yeah, clearly she likes.
Yeah, which is
she likes. She forget. Yeah, she quote unquote. She for all. I mean, we don't know the true full story, but according to this video that we're watching, she forgiven the old woman. She forgave her.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying is, while you're right about black people being subjected to this stuff, and maybe needing to speak up more about it, at the end of the day, there's still people who need to do this job, take care of old people who are not in their right mind, and I don't know, I'm not saying that, I'm not negating what you guys are saying, but just to say that we still need people to do this.
Yeah. White people. No,
and that's what I'll kind of. That's one of the things that I kind of want to ask, but I mean, there is really no answer, because, like you said, somebody has to do the job. Should there be?
It couldn't be me. Obviously, it couldn't be Quest.
No, hell no.
That was me. I'm splashing some water in her face. Hot water.
Jesus.
Okay. Couldn't be Ghost.
It's just, we all agree with this. Everybody has a job to do, but do those jobs have to come with this level of disrespect?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are around this. I mean, I'm not in this industry.
And-
Yeah, again, and everything I said was kind of speculation and hearsay, so I'm not sure exactly how it goes down.
And I don't know if I'm getting to my fake black roots about this, but it's like this doesn't sit well with me. Like in my heart, like it's just like.
But what do you do? What do you do to correct this situation?
That's the question.
Like,
you get assigned to a different.
No. I'm not talking about like. I'm talking.
Individual?
Somebody has to take care of this old lady.
Yes.
What do they do about the fact that the old lady spits at them?
That's the question.
What does the individual do?
Not the individual, but like
What
the
is-
caretaker or whatever.
What is?
How you stop the old lady from spitting on people?
Yeah.
But you're saying if somebody else came in and
Yeah.
assessed the situation and said the old lady needs to be addressed?
No, I'm saying
The situation,
I'm saying
like, what
if
is?
this old lady keeps spitting on people? What do you do? Like you just keep throwing new people at her? Is that the answer?
You don't throw.
Perhaps.
You don't throw a black.
I mean-
You don't throw a black woman at her. I know.
I mean, if the care needs to be such that she needs a white caretaker, I mean, I'm fine
You're
with
bringing
that.
race into it. If it's not a white woman, if it's a black woman,
If this is a white.
if
No,
it's
but-
just an old lady, if
Virginal-
it's just a mean
virginal-
old lady that keeps
Yeah.
spitting on people.
And that's why
No,
I said I don't know.
It
If
comes
it's,
down to the individual. If the individual is not comfortable, the individual should stand up for themselves. Because the individual doesn't necessarily need to be subjected to it. If the individual takes it in stride and says this is my job and tries to work with it and tries to help the person or help the situation become better, then that's on the individual.
So
It's all on
at the end of the day, you need an individual that can take care of the old lady, regardless of whether you have to keep switching people out to do it or not, or
Absolutely.
somebody is able to take it eventually.
Yeah,
You just
or
need somebody.
yeah, or I mean, I don't know how these things work in particular, but perhaps there is an approach or there's techniques, maybe there's a way to prevent it from getting to the spitting every time, like maybe I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think necessarily that
Put a-
anybody should have to go to work expecting to be
put
spat on
a
every
tape
day.
over her mouth and stop that spitting real quick.
All right. So once again, this guy's trying to run an insane asylum. No, that makes sense. Yeah, the way you're saying it, it almost reminds me of like a daycare or something now, where you have to find some way to get through the child.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Yeah, or reprimand them in some way, but not any of Quest's suggestions.
No, that's a good thing to bring into the scenario, because, and I don't want to bring it because of billion scenarios, but like I almost feel like if it's a child, like if a white child spat at me, I still might want to smack that kid, but I don't think I don't think I would. Yeah, it would be different. Be like
You wouldn't feel the same way. Yeah.
The child can learn.
Yeah,
Theoretically.
and you
Most-
don't suspect
it's
that
most
the child
likely
had
not.
already learned.
Yeah, it's most likely not necessarily an ingrained or learned behavior. It's just the kid's bad.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get. I mean, you maybe they didn't get educated right or educated well enough not to do these things, but it's not as much an ingrained thing, or doesn't have a feel that it was societally ingrained or anything like that. There's no connotations with it.
It's just that the argument, like, I'm sure if we had like a scientist or a nurse in here that really is familiar with these type of things that elderly people deal with, like dementia, someone could easily argue like being in that state is similar to being like a child. They just don't know any better. That's why I do.
But it's different.
Yeah, I know.
At least it seems different when it comes to, because there's things that you had in your past that can come up, which as a child you don't have that. So yeah, but I know what you mean. essentially it is.
Before we wrap this, I was about to wrap it, and we kind of already addressed it. But what do we think about the scenario that this story is presenting? The forgiveness part. Does that's it? Well, that's it. Well, y'all like y'all can understand forgiving this.
It doesn't sit well with me, but in this case, I don't like it, but it's her choice, and if that's what she wants to do, she wants to still be cool with it, then that's how it is. Because again, like Ace brought up, this could be a situation where you don't see all sides of the relationship.
I will say, and I didn't think about it till tonight. This old woman, she doesn't always act like this. That's what we can take away from this. There's time.
Yeah, I want to say another thing too, real quick. We're talking about it. I mean, we're saying forgives the old lady. If she's a caretaker, she's doing her job. It's not. I mean, dancing with the lady is not her job.
With a drink?
It's past
a drink in hand.
It's probably water.
It's past. But it's past. She's doing her job. She's acceptable with being overly like this is. She'd probably call this woman a friend.
I don't know about all that. I think she's just doing her job well. She don't mean she's calling her a friend. That's going. I mean, I'm not saying she's not, but at the same time, she might just be this way with all the elderly people she takes care of. That don't necessarily mean every elderly person is her friend.
Fair.
Like this just might be her on the right might just be her average, and on the left, you know, obviously it looks like it didn't just spark out of nowhere that behavior from the old lady. So I'm sure she knew it was coming, and probably was recording for that reason again. But who's to say that again she's not just doing her job? Like her on the right is just her everyday. That's how it usually is.
All right.
And whenever the lady's acting up or whatever, I mean, she could be employing techniques that were taught to her to ignore the person, don't fuel the fire, and eventually they'll realize they're not going to get, just like you would do with a child, they're not going to.
That's why I said it's probably
you don't respond to their nonsense, and then they realize, all right, I need to stop being foolish. Chill out.
Although, and obviously not with other people's children, but if you ever saw your child acting up, you know how to handle them.
Of course.
The same.
Let's not be silly. But yeah.
I know. And that was really well said. So that's good.
What it boils down to for me, this isn't like a Botham Jean situation where a family's sitting there hugging the killer. That disgusted me. It didn't sit right with me. This is kind of different because it's more of an individual thing than
it's in the same bag to me.
That old mess was.
Yeah, I think it's definitely different.
I keep repeating it, but there's some things I don't think black people should be subjected to because it carries, even if it's not the intention, it carries so much history behind it. But I do kind of want to, wrap this up in saying that, this is my personal views on things, and I'm even being facetious to some extent. Obviously, I understand. I understand the situation. So while it pains my heart to see it, not the dancing part, but just not overreacting when somebody disrespects you like that. So yes, I will say salute to this woman. Aside from the dancing, that you can say doing her job well. I say, I don't know. I don't know. It's something really I just don't know. I pray that people don't have to deal with stuff like this. Oh, man. All right, I'm good. It's over 2 hours, so let's actually hit music, and then if that doesn't go beyond 3 hours, then we'll hit the other topics. But that's pretty much it. Now I don't know where music starts this week because I think we almost need a better system.
This is why I wait.
We almost need a better system.
This is why I wait.
We either need a better system, or I gotta start relying on Ghost to keep track of it because it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know where it starts.
It's not hard to look and see what the last track that we looked at was.
I don't remember. Was it Wes?
Probably.
Chick Corea? Or was it Nipsey?
Chick Corea was
the Chick Corea
after.
was the one. Yeah, that one was the last one we.
It was like,
listened to,
but that was just for y'all. I mean,
yeah,
we could listen to it for sure, but
the Nipsey joint was the latest one that.
Oh yeah, just posting because the Legend of Pat. Okay, so the first is the Nipsey. Oh, let me pause this, by the way. I need to be recording this. Nice. Great records. Yeah, definitely a few I'm gonna have to pick up. And just like I mentioned before, whenever we playing records, or I mean, not whenever we're playing records, but when you drop music in the music channel, or just when you hear music, definitely be in the mindset of, did this album of the year album. Even when I say that, but I'm on record. I don't think any. I mean, obviously people have been dropping music, but no albums have came out yet. I don't think I bought one album this year, and we're in March. And maybe I'm just not as musically savvy as the rest of y'all, but I don't know. But good stuff. Real quick, going back to what I asked at the beginning of the podcast. So I asked y'all, when the mask rules go away, would y'all take off your mask? What about in terms of just going out and doing stuff that we haven't done in a group? Because what came to my mind when we were playing that jazz record was, if the jazz concerts are back on this year, are we in there, or are we gonna give one more year just in case?
I think I might have to go.
I'm in there
because I'm missing it. That's one thing I do miss.
Maybe we'll go there and still social distance or something.
Yeah, I don't want to be around other people.
It's outside. Those are outside, so
yeah.
You should come through, Ghost, if you can.
I will. Let me know.
They're in Connecticut, though.
Yeah, it's out the way. It's out the way. It's out the way for us.
I don't care. I don't care.
Well, for me, I don't know if.
Yeah, we'll have to find if they are running them, because they give the lineup, so pick the best night or whatever you could come through.
You know what I'm not looking forward to?
What's it called?
It's the Monday Night Jazz in Bushnell Park. I doubt they'll have the lineup now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's in the summertime.
Yes, in summer.
Even though I'm on the belief for we probably won't go back to the way things were traditionally. But what if jobs really start and companies really start? Okay, everybody, let's get back to the office and we'll work from home. What if they want people in the office full time again?
My job
I'm
is
good.
just
I'm good
trying
with
to
that.
get on that BS.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
Not every day.
Matter of fact, they actually just put up the stats for my company, and productivity's up.
That's hilarious.
I could almost.
Although a lot of people hate the Skype because Skype be disconnected and all that nonsense.
I could almost see myself never being at a job where I have a 5 day a week in the office type situation.
That don't even sound right anymore.
Right? It's
I'm getting up every day and driving to a building when I can just get on to the VPN and go to work.
It's so whack.
Now, granted,
Like I'm fine a couple
Maybe, like,
times a
once a
week.
week.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
once or
Monday for a
twice.
meeting or something.
as someone that be
Yeah,
in the building,
but
be in the building like once or twice a week, it makes sense. Like you gotta go into the office, but not 5 days a week.
I never had to do 5 days, but
For 8+ hours.
plus it's a luxury. I understand because there's some jobs that you just have to be there. But
yeah, salute to all.
ideally,
Well, at our job, salute to all the lab technicians and people that handle shipment receiving and security and all that. But I didn't sign up for that. So.
also, I mean, they have true, but they also have jobs that are quote unquote more hands-on, which everybody's always, I like to be hands-on. I couldn't sit at a computer every day type situation. I guess that's what they wanted.
No, I don't. Maybe I shouldn't even ask this question because it's on record. But is there anything that we're hyped to do? Once there's more.
what do you
Skate.
But
we can do that.
Yeah, we were skating.
Yeah,
at the park with our mask on. I guess mask off.
I just said that because I really want to skate.
No, me too.
Very soon.
Do y'all want to go to the theaters again?
Yeah, with popcorn.
What to see Dune and
I guess we could if things really do lift up, we could travel. We didn't get to do any travel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm down to
that was it.
I'm down to use my passport and go somewhere.
Yep, travel, go to jazz concerts.
Nice.
I think those are the only things that we couldn't do.
All right, nice. Maybe I don't even ask.
An A movie, which we could still do.
Maybe I don't even ask. Maybe I don't even have to ask anything we're looking forward to now. Maybe we got this segment out the way. For me, it's just more the same. I want to get a little better at editing and, try to see if we can get the podcast off the ground.
I mean, might have some stuff for y'all. Try to start getting organized and put my some like projects and stuff in software and getting organized generally, and some of those ideas that we had we might want to work on. In some capacity.
Thank you for reminding me. I came across a website that helps you develop apps. I meant to send that out to you.
Okay.
I meant to send that out.
That sounds very useful.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna do that as soon as possible. But is there anything else I'm missing that we're looking forward to coming up? No albums for me, I'll tell you that much.
No, I don't think so.
But yes, it's getting warmer out, so that's nice. The days are longer.
I'm just really trying to skate.
Pretty much so.
I need to.
Yeah. Yes, spring is on the horizon. Most definitely. If there's nothing else, I really hate to do it, but there's one thing I do want to get off my chest and my heart, and that is real quick give a rest in power to a young sister that passed recently. Her name is Lyric Chanel. I don't know if that's her real name, but that's what she was on the internet. Her name on the internet, and Lyric Chanel, one more time. The sister passed away recently, and she was like battling like brain cancer. It sounded like I listened to an interview a while back of her mother explaining all the things she went to, and it was just a super sad story. And she was only like 13, so it was super tragic. But a lot of the times when you saw her on a lot of times you saw her on the internet, she was like, like dancing and being mad, optimistic about life, and you can tell like for a young for a young girl. That's going through something that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. That she was really conscious of her situation, and really was making the best out of life. So yeah, I may or may not drop a link somewhere just to, if anyone is unfamiliar with her story, but super sad. You know, hope her and her family, condolences to her and her family, and yeah, just rest in power. Just again, one thing I just have to get off my heart real quick. But aside from that, yeah, as always, you know, thank y'all for hopping on, you know, doing this podcast thing, and yeah, hopefully we can come back and do it again soon. Still feels kind of corny to say, but
True. The outro.
I know. It'll get more natural. So yeah, to all that's listening, have a good night, day, whatever, and as always, be warmed and be filled.
That wasn't fair.
I'm gonna get better at it. Don't worry about it.